if you can hear me, and if you can hear the clinking of the ice cubes in the kitchen. Oops. Geek, tell G-Mux what time it is. Well, I don't... See, I'm one of those moms who would let my boys stay up late if there was something going on, and I don't want G-Mux to leave and go to bed, so hopefully hopefully you, Uni, as his mom, will let him stay up. Of course, I'm not the... He's still sick? Well, can he listen in bed? Maybe get a a blanket to wrap around himself while he's listening. Some warm milk. Or some of that tea that Rhonda likes to drink. He has the flu that never ends. He's not sick. He just needs professional help. Yeah. Well, none of us know for sure if he's sick. How could we? He's in England, for God's sake. Itadori. Right. So clearly I'm coming through, so that's a good thing. And I'm assuming that we lost the recording that we had going up until that point. I'm just going to look on here and see if I can tell if we got anything.
All is well. We have cocktails now.
Yeah, Jimmy's got himself a Mike's Hard Mango, and I've got... It's not Boodles, but I've got some New Amsterdam cheap gin on sale.
She said Mike's Hard Mangoes. And I think she meant it.
Okay, well...
Hard mango? See?
Yeah, we're coming through, so that's the
yes,
good news.
It is very frou-frou. I must admit.
Oh.
Mike's Hard Lemonade, I like them. They're refreshing, and they get me a little...
Yeah.
They get me like soccer mom drunk. You know? I'm just like, oh, guy. Hi.
Like a wine cooler.
Yes, it is. It's a wine cooler.
Oh, I want you to do the rest of the show as Lance Pierce.
It's going to be... It's going to be hard not to. Let me tell you something.
That's what she said.
No. We don't do That's What She Said on this show.
I know. We're way too old for that.
Lance. Yes.
Lance.
His name is Lance. Ouch, Pierce. Ooh. Stop that. And he owns a little beauty shop. Just a little place. It's right off Colfax. And it's called Could You Just Die? And we do.
Remember when we went to that Mexican restaurant in Englewood, and you had a frou-frou, you had something in a champagne goblet, and I took your picture. I need to find that and embarrass you with it.
It's not embarrassing, though. It was all you can drink mimosas for $10.
That's what it was. Yeah. But you looked silly.
For breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the schnicked, as they say.
Did you forget to put gin in here again?
No.
I'm going to just top this off. I'll be right back.
Forget to put gin in here. G-Mux, she put ice cubes in her gin tonic just like a bloody Yank. Just like a bloody Yank. Give me the most froofy drink you have, please. That would be a mimosa, sir. Mimosa it is, then. But,
I had a drink
at
when Tracy, one of my good friends from high school, came to visit me earlier this past spring, and we went to the pier on Cocoa Beach, and we had a drink there that was
chocolate?
Made of chocolate. It was like
rum?
chocolate and alcohol. Oh my goodness. That was frou-frou, and it was delicious, and I had 2 of them. And I gained about 12 pounds just from that day.
Well, did you go eat the fish dip at Coconuts? And,
yeah.
Okay. And did you smoke lots of cigarettes and have foo-foo drinks and yak with your friend and eat a lot of rich food and drink? Yeah.
I don't think cigarettes make you fat.
No, but the reason that you have cigarettes is because that's what you're doing. You're having
You're having oral fixations.
You're having cigarettes and food and drinks with your friends. And
high levels of consumption of
they're
all
very
things.
social.
Let's consume all the things.
Well, you know when cigarettes stop being fun?
Around the age of 38?
No, when you see the guy or the gal out there smoking by herself on her smoke break. It's like just any social thing like that. If you're sitting there drinking alone, like Chris, like the Swede, sitting there at Holly's bar and drinking a whole bottle of vodka all by himself in the middle of the night. That's just pathetic.
Holly has a bar?
Well, at his house. He's sitting there. Holly comes out and there's Chris sitting there in the dark with a bottle of vodka, and you're like, what are you doing? Just...
Jimmy has a friend. We're not going to say his name, but he is he's an heir, I guess is the term. Yeah. He's not an heiress. Obviously, that would be a girl. But
well,
he's an heir
he's a trust fund baby, however you want to call it.
Of one of the great robber barons of the fin de siècle of last century.
Are you trying to tell me that Union Carbide Chemical's bad? Anyway, he doesn't have anything to do with them anymore.
But he has a big house and his own bar and an interesting backstory. Yeah.
And a very interesting backstory. His dad quit that heinous, icky company.
That he formed, or his dad formed?
That his grandfather and grandmother and a couple of other people formed. Mm-hmm. A couple of other partners. And his dad got off the board of directors and retired, and then moved to Italy and lived in Rome and lived right there. That's where Holly's house is, right there.
Oh, you have a map of Rome on your wall.
I have a map of Rome on my wall. And that's Augustus' tomb right here, and this is where Holly's house was, and that's the... oh, wait. There it is. Okay, I'm sorry. There's the reason this is circled. That's Castello de Sant'Angelo, and this is reportedly the tunnel in Da Vinci Code. Goes from the Vatican to Castello de Sant'Angelo, and that's where he solves the mystery at the end. Oh. And right across that bridge, here's the Tiber River, and right next to Augustus' tomb is Holly's childhood home. He lived there for 18 until he was 18, but his dad lived there and worked on the digs of Pompeii for 40 years. If you have bazillions of dollars and you decide you want to become an archaeologist, I guess you can do that. Yeah. We're going to move to Rome and dig stuff up. Well, what about...
Yeah. The government won't let you. Well, we'll buy them.
And he didn't have a... Oh, chocolate martini.
Sunravel me, if you know where to find one of those in Denver, you and I can hook up later and go find that. Yeah, so he's reading the chat again, which you can tell because
I'm trying to get your attention. Oh. Uniwisp. Bye, Uniwisp. Thank you.
Good night, Uniwisp.
Yeah. Goodbye, Mum, says G-Mux. Yeah, I'm down too. I want to get me a chocolate martini. Coming from somebody who doesn't drink anything but gin, I'm impressed that she was having a chocolate martini.
I wasn't having a chocolate martini, was I? It wasn't a martini. It was like some rum thing with cream de coconut and, all those things I love. It's like the thing that you can get at Bahama Breeze. And that is a British something or other drink. What was that called? Oh, I'm going to have to look it up. Yeah. Remember that drink? And then I learned how to make them at home. Remember that? What was it called? I'm going to go get my laptop and look up the name.
I thought we made Bahama Mamas, and no, we made yours. No, it wasn't a Brandy Alexander. It had rum, I think, and cream de coco and curacao and like maybe a little cream de mint or something in it. But it was definitely dark chocolatey, yummy goodness, man. Yeah, I like drinks where you can just drink them like and not even notice. Occasionally I'll do like do a beer and a shot of bourbon, Jack Daniels. I really like Gentleman Jack, but I kind of got off
Bugsy
that
was
kick.
drinking Jack Daniels yesterday. He said on one of the chat rooms, he said JD and Coke, and somebody didn't know what the JD part was.
Oh, like so if you go 7 and 7, that's Seagram 7 and 7 Up.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old joke about that.
That's what my dad used to make for him.
Did
Every
you?
day after work, I'd make him a 7.
There's a blonde joke.
Is there? Well,
Yeah.
I was a brunette
There was a blonde joke. Well,
before I had the gray
then you
hair.
won't have to be offended by this.
Okay.
The brunette sits down at the bar and orders a JD and Coke, and the bartender says, Jack Daniels and Coke coming up. And then the redhead sits down at the bar and orders a I can't remember what the second one is. It was like CRD. It was Crown Royal and Diet, but whatever. The blonde comes up and says, "I'll have a 13." And the bartender says, "What's that?" And she goes, 7 and 7.
Okay.
It's dumb. Hiccup. Hey, were we talking about voiceover a little while ago? And how we would love to do voiceover for liquor companies, apparently?
I'm looking up this drink from Bahama Breeze that I like.
She's looking up the Bahama Breeze drink. Well, I like the idea of having a steaming meetup. Gross.
We had one last night.
We had a steaming meetup last night. It was wonderful. We got to meet some fine people. Huh, Unravel Me. Yeah, that was good fun. Steamy meetup. I like it. It was awesome. Did you guys tell everybody that you won the tickets? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, she posted in the general chat room last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got tickets to the Great American Beer Fest.
So apparently the person who runs that, which is a thing I didn't even know because I don't like beer, but apparently that's a thing, and he's the guy who runs it is on Steam It.
Merodian said, haha, steamy meetup. And it looks like I've coined another phrase. Should we have a steamy meetup in Florida?
Well,
in Orlando?
That's the only place you could have that. Couldn't have it here. It's too dry and arid. So the Bahama Breeze website does not, all of its links are broken, and if you click on the menu or the drinks menu or anything like that, it takes you to the different locations. So their website is all screwed up.
That's LeMay.
Yeah, it is.
Also known as lame. So, Sunravel Me has, she's planning out all the beer she's going to drink. She's already mapping it out, and she's got like a list. She's got a bucket list. I'll have a bucket of that lager, please. And so she's got 2 days to decide. I love planning my beer drinking list in advance. That's what Negativer says. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, guys. If we can get some steaming people, bunch of steamerers to meet up in Orlando and go have a Disney day or go have a Universal day. We do have a butt ton of free Universal tickets.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. So we can.
And if I don't get back there before Christmas time, Well, I'll
Well,
keep him
you
for
gotta
6
go in
months,
November.
but I'm not, I'll lose my job if I don't. It doesn't have to be November. As long as I get there through, at some point during
Yeah, but you want to
Christmas
go in
peak.
November for your birthday, right?
I do? Okay. My 50th birthday last year sucked, so maybe 51 could be fun. So you know what? I feel a different energy even on our show than when we did the show on MSP Waves. Isn't that weird?
Is that why you're not being all uptight and weird?
Oh, you
about
and I
things?
used to fight behind the scenes. I would get so mad at him because he would talk over the clips. And when is your birthday, Sunravel Me? Mine is the 23rd. Anyway, he would talk over the clips, and then I would glare at him silently
I wouldn't
and
talk
mouth
over
the
clips.
words, "Be quiet," and then he'd just go, "Why? So what?"
Yeah, so what? I'm commenting.
And then I figured out how to
It's my
mute.
stinking show.
Oh,
That's what I would say.
I found out how to mute our microphone while a clip is playing, but so we can do that now because we are
Yeah.
radio experts now.
What troubles? What troubles, abuse boy? What troubles you, lad? Less pants. That's a great name for a character.
We were just talking about Les Nessman last night.
And now, more news and less Nessman. WKRP with more news and less Nessman. That's a great
I
name.
love that show.
I go,
And-
less pants. That's a great name for, a show.
Yeah.
Welcome to Less Pants.
And
Welcome to Naked Bottoms. I'm Less Pants.
you haven't been doing the show in your Lance Pierce.
Yeah, I
What happened to that?
decided not to make it. I don't want to offend gay people.
Well, that's not
That's
trying to offend them. That's just.
It's me paying homage.
That's right.
That's what it is.
And when I was little, my dad, who was not a really fun guy, but the few times that I saw him be fun was when he was watching either WKRP or the Mary Tyler Moore Show. He loved Ted from that show.
Oh.
And I'm looking
You
at
mean
you.
this guy?
Yeah.
Hi, more, Mayor Lou. Lou. You, sir, are no gentleman. A little song. A little dance. A little salsa in your pants.
There are probably young people listening who have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, they missed out.
We probably shouldn't
Both
both
be taking
take to drink at the
big
same
old swigs
time.
at the same time.
Oh my god.
Excuse me. I was in character. Yes, that was Ted Knight. Wasn't it a good one, Abuse Boy? I thought it was pretty good.
What was his name on the show?
You, Ted Baxter.
Baxter, that's right.
I'm Ted Baxter with the news. You. Hi, more. There, you.
It wasn't more, it was Murr.
Murr. More. It was It was Murray. Hi, more. Murr.
Moore.
Hi, Mayor. Murr. Lou. Mayor Murr.
Oh my goodness, this is hurting me.
All we hear is ice clinking. Did you hear me burp? It's kind of a thing with Sunravel Me. Last night at our steamy meetup, she just kept having Joel burp in her ear. It was weird. Kind of creeping us out a little. Not judging though.
You're so mean.
I'm not.
Why is the dog in here? Who allowed her? Fleur, you're supposed to be out there. Go on.
Go on, girl.
Go on. Go on.
Cats aren't minding. Yep, video or it didn't happen. I agree. Even though that's my own state. Well, library has surveillance. We could go check. They know what we were up to in that room. Right when there was a break in the conversation, the lady came in. We close in 15 minutes. And then here's the funny part. We all leave the room. We're in a library. We all go out of there. Blah, 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 steam it. Yeah, there's a blah. The next time we meet up, and then, remember that? There's a whale. Woo! We're having it. And I'm in the hallway, and I go, guys, library? And they all kind of look all sheepish and go, you know what, we're leaving. Blah, 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 blah. We just walked out the door.
The sad thing is that there were only 5 of us there, but we were still pretty loud.
Well, God bless the people that got in a car wreck and on the way. Some of our fellow Steemians got in a car wreck on the way to the Steamy meetup and got rear-ended. Whoops! I thought it again. I can laugh now because they are okay.
They're good, yeah.
But it was a hit and run. He said rear-ended on the way to the Steamy meetup.
For 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes.
Call back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. The library thing was pretty amusing. But it was a good little meeting. I learned a lot.
Yeah. LP Faust hosted it, and he's a smart guy. He's an accountant by trade, and he was talking crypto. And, you know, I just dabble. I don't have a lot of knowledge in that, but he does, and so did Sunravel Me's husband. So that was a pretty cool meeting.
So Joel knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Faust. So yeah, that was pretty neat to listen to because that's something I'm always interested in, learning things I don't know anything about.
So you're wanting to go back to that
so
now?
I want to just say that we didn't get past the first page of my terms
of
and
your plan,
my glossary.
your agenda.
Me agenda.
I was trying to pull you off of that agenda a little bit.
Yeah, every chance you got. So I'm going to be boring for a second here. We left off with Be Real. And if you lost track of our conversation, we started off by talking about as you're an actor in the studio and you're doing voiceover, whether it's an audio book on tape, audio for a book on tape, a 60-second spot, a 30-second spot, some billboards, a promotional piece, virtual reality, any of the things that we use voiceover for, which is often just on every car commercial is mostly voiceover, you know, unless they have a character in there. But they
isn't this boring, everyone?
Isn't it? No,
no, I'm just kidding you. Go ahead.
Let's talk about
go
economics instead, because then nobody would be bored.
No, we don't have to do that.
No, really.
No, really.
As we can see by last year's numbers, that these quarterly sales have got to improve, so we've instigated a brand new program of collating. Credits will now go on the left, debits will now go on the right. That's the way it's always been. Some of you have been doing it backwards.
Snore, says G-Mux.
Yeah, well, that's not economics. That's finance. There's a difference.
Yeah, you're really good at one of them. Hey, see what you call that, my audience? Is a shot across the bow. Right there. It's just a warning shot.
Why don't you get on with that voiceover stuff now?
Yeah, okay. So, when you billboard it, that's highlight or emphasize your read. If somebody says billboard it, you want to highlight a certain part, like it will say, a call to action. So you want to billboard that call to action, and it means you really want to emphasize the location, or the hours of operation, or when the sale ends, or whatever that is in it. You know, whatever they want you to billboard just means highlight that vocally. And remember, all these are in quotes. So break character when you become another character or lose the one you were, and it happens to the best of us when your concentration's off a little. I was performing a character on these very airwaves, and after 2 hours, you kind of lose the character after half an hour, and somebody needs to give you a callback to that character, and I have one for just about every character I do. When I'm sometimes a difficult character like Joan Rivers, you have to have her catchphrase, "Can we talk? Oh, grow up." That's how I can get back to Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you broke character the very day that I met you. You were being Jefferson Quincy Washington III Esquire, who was a conglomeration of various founding fathers of the U.S.
Yes, he's a floundering father.
A floundering father.
Yes, quite.
And so I went up to you because you were talking loudly in this place in a British accent. So of course I sidle up to you and I say, "Are you really British?" And you broke character. And do you remember what you said? And in whose voice you said it?
Was it Cheech?
Yeah.
I said, "No, man, my usual voice is like this, you know."
And he's dressed like Thomas Jefferson, talking like that.
Let's go smoke some pot, man.
Oh my God.
And,
Talk about a mind-blown moment.
that was the first one that popped into my mind. That was the complete opposite of Jefferson Quincy Washington III Esquire. Sun Rival Me is under the impression that we're like married or something.
Oh, should we spend a couple hours talking about that?
So we spend a couple of hours. Okay, the rest of the show is going to be dedicated to the ongoing and continuous therapy session that is my relationship with Geek. She fell for Cheech. No, you're wrong. She didn't fall for Cheech. No. That's when we first started going out. But we don't go out anymore. We just stay here.
We used to be a couple. Some people know this, some don't. We used to be a couple, and we broke up about a year ago.
It's not complicated.
It's very complicated.
No,
it's
no,
extremely
it's easy.
complicated.
It's easily...
Just DM me, I'll give you the whole story.
Yeah, I bet she will. Wow, it turns out there's a protagonist and an antagonist here in your fiction workshop.
No, there's someone else. And no, there was not like a love interest cheating person. It wasn't that situation. That's what people immediately
not for either one of
assume.
us, but
No.
for that other person there was.
For the third person?
Thus, the breakup. Yes, that's part of the continuing... The breakening. Geek Imitations 2, The Return. This time they're going back to Denver. And this time, it's personal. In a world of economics and comedy.
You know, that world.
Yeah, that world. Where economists and comedians collaborate. On kooky concoctions of comical cut-ups. How's that for alliteration, huh?
Very good. You're such a poet.
Only split personalities count in my business because I have 500 of them at last count. They quit documenting them after a while. They just said, you know what, we're running out of tape. So we'll just call it 500. Distinct personalities. I have two that are at the foremost. Rage and humor.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And then there's various areas of gray in between. collate.
I think that's true for all comedians, don't you?
Yeah,
It's
certainly
either
true
funny
for
or rage.
the really
Pain.
good ones. I'll let Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. Because they go like Freddie Prinze committed suicide. He's a great comedian way back when. They're self-destructive. And like Chris Farley didn't have a rage bone in his body even when he was drunk. Belushi did. Belushi had rage. But the ones that just died because they were partying too much, they were suffering from being the most alone public figures you could imagine,
Yeah.
I just wish that clinical depression was taken more seriously than it is. It's like, oh, let's just medicate it, Trouble is if they mess up your dosage for 6 months, it's already too late. Like Robin Williams, he kept taking all these combinations of pills, and like when Heath Ledger did that, he wasn't a comedian, but he was a fine actor, and he took the wrong dosage of prescription medication, and that's what killed him and Bruce Lee, as far as we know.
This show is starting to be a downer.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Instead, let's talk about economics. Whee! It could be worse. Could be raining.
Did G-Mux say that?
Yeah.
Here in Colorado, we would love that, actually.
I like it to rain. We have a cat.
A
on
big
my
pile
lap.
of cat
Big pile of cat.
on Jimmy's lap. That cat is the size of a small dog.
And does tricks like a dog and acts like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Comes when you call him and speaks and sits up and begs and
Goes for walks.
goes for walks. Pile of cat. A great lump of feline in me lap.
Isn't it?
In it.
Maybe Ooze and Kooth needs to come back on the show tonight.
Ooze and Goof.
Anybody want to hear
Listen,
some 80s
my
music?
name is Raven, right? Raven.
Raven Infantry.
It's not bloody infantry, is it? It's entropy.
So last night, we were watching one of our favorite shows, which probably Muxie might know, but maybe not anybody else. Maybe, I don't know. It's called The Royal Family. And I don't even know the actors' names because I had never seen them in anything before this show. So I know a lot of British actors, but I don't know these people. But it is the best, one of the best shows that we watch. We watch a lot of British stuff.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Erg doesn't like that show.
Oh, you don't like... Oh, we laughed last night so hard. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we hate those people. And
We hate them, but yet we don't. We love some of them.
no. Well, you... That's funny. The reason G-Mux probably hates that show is because the reason we hate shows that portray us all as...
Roseanne.
yeah, as white trash, I don't know, where are they supposed to be from, Muxie? I know you don't want to talk about that show. So anyway, it's, we sit there and watch it and just pick up on all the, I like that, me. I've never heard that until I watched that show. I like that, me. And
Well, if I watch that show by myself, I sob through the whole thing. But if I watch it with Jimmy, I laugh hysterically. And I mean,
You know
what
why?
other show
'Cause
can
there's
you say that
gin.
about? Well, there's always gin, though, if you need it.
yeah, sometimes it's not funny. Sometimes it's just not funny, and it's touching and poignant and stuff. But a lot of times I get mad, so I'll walk
he
away
hates
from that show.
Denise.
I just want to grab that skank by the ankles and take care of your baby. What are you doing?
But I like the
Spoiled
mom.
little twat.
Obviously, I can relate to her. She's my age. She's kind of in my position, a little. And I like Jim
Yeah, she
the
cooks
dad.
poorly. She cooks poorly,
Shut up.
but she's
But-
in your position. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
And
couple of spoiled kids.
and Jim, I have a dad named Jim. Jimmy is named Jim, obviously. And that's a whole story right in and of itself. But
Oh, great. I'm Dave.
well, no, you're not,
Sorry about that, Barbara.
Barbara. But Jim as a character is so frustrating and endearing at the same time. And that may only be true for me because my dad named Jim was partially like Jim, like all the hateful parts. That was my dad. But then this Jim Royal, he'll get out his banjo and he'll start singing, the whole family will sing, and that's when I start to cry. Because my
Well, you
family
remember how he was so
not
horrible.
like that.
But then when Denise was really struggling,
Yeah.
he went up there and he's just like,
He sits with
Denise
her
will
on the
always
bathroom floor.
Yeah, they'll sit there and they'll talk and he'll give her hugs. You know I love you.
And that's
know,
something that doesn't
that-
always happen in real life. And I will bawl my eyes out watching that show.
It's pretty stupid. I'm talking about the show, not you. Yeah, but out of all your British shows that that you let me that we enjoy together.
Oh, this is so untrue. When I met you, we were amazed at how many things that we liked already and could share. And
Well, that's because the first time I talked to you, I quoted Steve Martin from The Jerk
and Spinal Tap
and Spinal Tap.
yeah, all those things, yeah.
And you're like, and that's from the Full Monty. And I go, oh, I've never seen that movie. And you about had a heart attack. That's the best movie ever. And I saw it. Meh, it's all right.
It is not a meh.
It's all right.
No, it's wonderful.
All right, G-Mux. You have to settle the debate. Full Monty on
Well,
a scale
course
of
he's
1 to
not gonna
5.
like it because
On a scale of 1
he's
to 5.5,
biased.
if you're the full.
He's biased and he's a guy. Ask the women in the chat who are American, and they will love that show. Movie, whatever it was. That's another one that made me cry at the end. I was sobbing.
That's because they all had little penises. Oh, it's horrible. Is that why? Because of my little penis? Wait, no, much meh. Yeah. We're not
There is
married
a- there is
because
a
we're
reason-
not a couple.
Well,
Plus, I don't want to be married. Plus, Steph was married for 20 years, and look how that worked out. She got 2 nice kids out of it,
Yeah.
and she gets money.
Now, there is an interesting story as to why we are not a couple anymore. And, the more we drink and the more we talk on the radio, it'll probably come out over time.
But it has to do with my operation pending, shall we just say. I'm taking the hormone injections right now. I have the mammary glands going, working on a solid B cup right about now. That's not the real reason. Stephanie, she's the one getting the addictomy.
Addictomy.
Doctor, can I tell one of my favorite jokes?
Sure.
Sure. Guy goes to the doctor.
Doctor, you gotta do something about this voice. It's driving my wife crazy. The dog's afraid of me. Kids won't even talk to me. I'm gonna lose my job. We gotta do something. I can't go on like this.
Is he talking like Beetlejuice?
And the hey, almost. Let's put it that way. He's like, hey, we gotta do something about this one.
So Beetlejuice goes to the doctor. And the doctor says, well, we can perform this procedure. We take an inch or 2 off of your penis, and for every inch we take off, it raises your voice an octave.
And the guy's like, well, I'm gonna be fine. So we gotta do that. Okay, let's do it. I can't go on like this. We gotta do something.
So they perform the procedure, and in about 6 weeks, the guy comes back and goes, Doc, it's great. I got a raise at work. I got my wife and I are getting along great. Coach the kids' soccer team. Take the dog to the dog park. Everything. It's just been great. And he says, well, by the way, what did you do with that piece of my penis anyway?
I don't know. Maybe I put it in a jar or threw it away or something. I'll have to ask the nurse.
Moobs. Moobs. Man boobs. Mannery glands. I like that one. That's good too.
That's good too.
Here's my list of stuff I was supposed to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do that.
It's not too late to be boring. That wasn't a good joke? I thought it was a good joke. I got a LOL out of Mox. Okay, so that's all right. But I got a ew. Maybe that's right about something. Was moves on?
It wasn't actually on the list.
But it is now. And I would like to talk to you guys throughout the week about coming up with an actual show with the intent of editing and helping people write humor. Could be funny college, frat boy humor. Could be,
Writing humor is hard.
It is very hard. And it's as hard as writing fiction because...
It's harder.
You think so? Because, well, but one man's art is another man's tomato can on the wall.
Yeah, but it's one thing to get an image across. Comedy writing still sort of needs to do that, but it also has to do it with the proper timing. And to generate laughter out of someone, oh my goodness, that's 10 times harder than straight fiction.
Yeah. Here's the deal, though. Delivery is the important thing.
Well, in writing, there is delivery, for sure.
Because when we're writing comedy, like Keith and I,
yeah, you
we're
can
not
read
laughing,
that wrong.
We're
You
not
could read that
laughing while
wrong.
we're doing it.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, we're laughing about other things. Okay, that reminds me of a great Simpsons I saw the other day. That's what we're laughing at. What we're laughing at is all the jokes we can't tell, because that's when all the dick and moob jokes happen. Yeah,
But the way that you and Keith wrote the Starship Winkler episodes, those episodes are almost poetry. The comedy, it has to be so tight because, first of all, you're working in a minute time frame, and those lines are written so tight that if you can write that tight and write comedy, then you can write anything. You can write great fiction if you can write a sentence that tight. You know what I'm talking about? I've been drinking this gin, so I feel like I'm just repeating myself and not really being articulate. But you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. And
give him an example
of
a Winkler episode where there's really good comedy writing in there.
Okay. I like this one.
And now, the further future adventures of Starship Winkler. The captain must answer an HR complaint.
Are you telling me someone's complaining about what I did 20 light years ago?
He says you fostered a hostile work environment.
It was an underground illegal cage fighting operation. Of course it was hostile. The whole thing was hostile. It was on the planet Hostilia.
One of the fighters claims you used the N-word.
What, Nepper?
That's the one!
He was from the planet Neptune. They all call each other Neppers. Hey, Nepper, what's up, Nepper? Nepper, please.
Yes, but you are not Neptunian.
What's the big deal? I'm from the planet Uranus, and everybody calls me...
We know what everybody called you.
Hold on, let me clear this up with my head chef. Jose!
Si, El Capitan.
What planet are you from?
The planet Illegala.
So you're an illegal.
I don't think you're allowed to ask me that.
Ah, so confused. Okay, thanks, Jose.
It's all right.
How about if I make an apology video?
No, that never works.
Even if I make it a rap?
Well, will the captain's rapology be accepted? Tune in next time when we hear
What rhymes with unbelievable?
Inconceivable!
Nah on Starship Winkler.
See, everybody thinks that those are funny because of the voices, and that's part of it. But the writing on those is genius.
Yeah, we did good, and they just kind of poured out of us. That was what was really neat. We
You have a good chemistry with Keith,
Yeah.
the guy you write those with.
Yep. I have a good chemistry with him. He's the best director ever, too, because when we do our bits, he's the engineer on all of them, and he says, and I'll do a pass, what's called a pass. I'll take that line and I'll go, no, blah, 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 blah. And I'll go, okay. Then I'll do it like that, and then I'll come up with a kicker for that line, a little extra something for that line, and that's... I compare it, not to sound... We're not in their league. I'm not going to... But like Lennon and McCartney did, somebody asked John Lennon why... I love when people say, before he died. Really? Okay. It was John Edwards. He asked him after he died. Okay. So they asked John Lennon, how come you get along? How come you and Paul created that chemistry? And Paul said, he said, well, it's because we were so different and yet the same. And Paul goes, for instance, I would write, I have to admit it's getting better. And John would say, it couldn't get much worse. And that was the perfect line. I was the eternal optimist, and John was the eternal pessimist. He was half full, I was half empty. So it worked out. So that's how it works with Keith. It's just unfortunate that I come in and go, I broke the glass. It was half full. Broke it.
That's okay, because Keith can clean that shit
he's
up.
got super glue.
Inconceivable! That's what's so funny!
Favorite character. Whenever anybody asks me my favorite voice to do, I always bust right into that. But truly, my favorite voice to do is Arthur, is Dudley Moore from Arthur.
That's my favorite voice. I have two favorites, Arthur and just your general Italian guy.
Yeah, you like it. I'm going to do the Mona Lisa tomorrow. You're going to like it.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Well, I should tell you, too, that my younger son, Nick, has a gift for mimicry and doing voices. Now, he's not to the level of Jimmy, obviously. He's only 14 years old. And I don't think Jimmy was at Jimmy's level when he was 14 years old.
Not until I went and saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Well, Nick's seen those, of course, and likes them. But he started doing voices when he was about 2. And when he was 2, one day he spent the entire day talking like Rosanna Dana. And he had never seen Rosanna Dana. And my mother and I were out shopping with him all that day. And we were just rolling. Everything he said was fun. I mean, it was hilarious. But he was also using this accent that I don't know where he got it. Why? That's just who he is. And so anyway, they have a good relationship too, and I'm hoping that Jimmy will be able to kind of bring that out of him a little bit. He used to be able to do, what was his favorite comedian that he always
Brian
used to-
Regan.
Brian Regan. He could be Brian Regan. He had Brian Regan's voice down. He had the mannerisms, the cadence, the inflections, and the lines. And that's exactly like Jimmy will do. You know, Jimmy will mimic in that same way. And it's just a really cool thing to witness. I don't know where he got it. He didn't get it from me or his father, so I'm not sure.
Or anybody in their family tree at all forever.
Well, you know what, though? When I was a little girl, I used to do Steve Martin stand-up bits for my parents and their friends. And I would do pussy jokes, not knowing what I was talking about or why that was funny, other than Steve said it, so it must be funny, and people laughed on the record that we had. So I would mimic that and do little bits for my parents' dinner parties. So maybe it came from me, but I certainly don't have any talent with voices that way.
No, but you do Barbara from
From the royal family.
she walk in, "Do you have your tea? What do you have? What do you have?"
That's because I am Barbara.
Especially the part where you go, "Nick,
Etney,
be a dear."
Nick, go brew us some tea.
Was it brew a pot?
Oh, they have different ways of saying it. Colloquialisms. We haven't overshot the end of our show, have we?
No, we still have 15 minutes to
Oh,
talk about
okay.
not what I want to talk about. My boring crap.
That is so unusual. It never works out this way. It's usually always what you want to talk about.
It's the lack of stress. Well, remember, you didn't want to do this show. I'm not going on the air. I won't say a word. I'll just sit there and type.
The first show I didn't.
And the second show, you spent the whole show yelling at me. And the third show, you slept in your bed the whole show.
That's because
And
I
let's
had
see.
had a hernia attack. Yes.
And
It's,
apparently this hernia was given a name that we all know and
What?
love.
what?
I'm not mentioning it. I'm not saying the S word.
Oh. The S word, you can say it here. We're free to say the S word here. Samo. Samo gave me a hernia. Let's just be out
And
front with it.
and you didn't give him anything.
I didn't
didn't
give
get
him
nothing
a
for him. You got
venereal
nothing for
disease
him.
or anything.
Doesn't some spite maybe? Oh, there was the curse. Does anybody know where we can get a hold of some fingernail clippings or hair samples at all? Maybe ashes
Some saliva.
of saliva, any kind of DNA whatsoever.
I don't care for him.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about
Okay.
something fun. Economics. That's what's known as a callback. Happy
I can
studio
do that
audience.
if you really want me to.
No. We're not.
No. Oh, we're nodding.
No.
Nodding.
Yeah. This, I'm about to shake my headphones off. I'm nodding and nodding. So, are we? We're not broadcasting. He's like, I mean, we're not. We're not on. We're not on the telly. Fun times today. Fun times last night, and I think that it's a very good idea to talk to all the people in Florida and see if we can organize some sort of steamy meetup.
Yeah, because remind me who all is in Florida.
Okay, well,
Is Merodian in Florida?
yes,
And Negativer is in Florida. Am I saying that right? Maybe.
Negativa.
Negativer. We'll find out. And Cubby Elizabeth is in Florida, isn't she? I don't think she's here right now, but I'm pretty sure
And
she is.
Carol King's in Florida.
No, she's in Cedar Rapids.
Oh.
That other place that you fly to.
Oh.
Author of Things is in Florida. Lexiconical is in Florida. He's not here tonight either, but
Scaredy Cat Guide.
he's in Florida.
Mhm.
And
Yagi.
right, yes, or
Jaji.
we aren't sure how to say her name either.
I call her Jaji.
And is Stitchy Bitch also in Florida? Florida is well populated, and of course we were there up until recently. And then also somebody I don't know personally, but Lexiconical is a buddies with Jerry Banfield. He's in Florida because he had to evacuate during Irma. Cubby, yep, Merodian, Scaredy Cat. And you met up in South Florida. Cool.
Nice.
So, yeah, And when are we going? You keep getting on the travel site, and I think you're booking, but then you get gigs, and so we haven't booked yet, right?
Well, that's not it. We didn't have the money.
Oh, well, we have the money. We just need to power down.
So, yeah. Mux is not in Florida. He is in...
Okay, well, that's going to be our next trip, because I really do need to go to England.
I told you how you could do it.
I know.
I know.
I am an Anglophile, and have been for all my life. When I was a little kid,
That means she has sex with British people.
I've never had sex with a British person, but I want to.
Dead British people.
I imagine having sex with dead British people. But when I was a little girl, I had a very distinct way of speaking. And so people thought that I was British because I just pronounced. Is that a
I
word?
pronounce things different, like a Yank would.
No, like a British person. So people thought that I was from London. And of course I wasn't. I lived outside of Chicago growing up. But I've always loved it over there, and so I need to go there. G-Mux is there. Rhea is there, who inspired that one story that I wrote that came in first place, and so I owe her a debt of gratitude. And Ezzy, or Easy, her husband, is there. So that's 3 people right there that I could go see. And then also, I am ancestrally
Pronounced.
I am ancestrally Scottish and Irish. My maiden name is McPeak,
So let me get
which
this
is
straight.
an Irish place.
You make love to dead British relatives.
I'm not inbred, although my teeth are very narrow. But if I ever get over there, I want to go to Scotland because supposedly there's a castle there that is in the family. And I want to go to Ireland because the Ballymcpeak is a place, and that's my name. And I write limericks, and the dog, I think, is eating cat food again. Fleur! Oh, no, that's your cat, the dog cat,
Yeah, that's
eating
the pup
Yeah.
cat over there. Sounds like a dog.
Anyway, I need to get over to those islands. I even have some Welsh blood in me. We have a Welsh ancestor, and I've
Well, you
seen
eat
a
enough
picture.
Welsh cheddar.
I do. I have a picture of like a great-grandfather who was from Wales, and I have his cheeks. I swear to God, you can see the resemblance.
Eh? Your granddad was Scottish.
No, well, yeah. My
Dog is
mother's
eating the cat again.
family is Scottish. My father's family is Irish. So, what the hell are you gonna do?
We're gonna drink and fight.
That's right. And we do that. Oh my God, we do that so well. And what is your ancestry, Jimmy?
Flemish.
Almost spit out my
Sorry.
gin.
Good thing I got a pop screen on my microphone because when I said Flemish, a big gob flew across. We are English and German. We're Anglo and German. We have
Vials.
Welsh. Yes.
Vile.
Yeah, my
with
last
an
name
S.
is Vile. So not only am I vile, I'm plural.
Oh dear. Yeah.
There's Scotland, there's Ireland, there's the bloody ocean. Now get out! Scotland is not like Ireland. Oh, say that to an Irish boy. See what you get. Oh, look at you. I'd like some Scotch tape. This is Ireland. What's the difference? All right, those are fighting words. Come on, put them up. Your mother. Ah.
Yeah, it's the fighters and the drinkers. Boy, did I inherit that or what?
But at least you got that Danish don't succeed, whatever you do.
Oh
blood
boy,
in you.
yeah. I've got a branch on my family tree. It's a big branch of Danish blood, I guess. Germ, Danish germ.
Infestation.
My dad's mother was half Danish. Her parents were full Danish, and they came over on the boat. She was half Danish, and her husband, my great grandmother's husband, was English. So Danish and English.
Stop saying the D word. Must have Danish.
My family was donuts. And obviously Jimmy's was too. He loves donuts.
Donuts. Is there anything they can't do?
Yeah, and those Danes do not like.
There is a thing in Danish culture called the Jante Law. And it is really, I think, a law that...
When that cheese Danish made me sick, that's where I went. Dejante Law. They got me $1 million. It was great.
Jante Law is sort of a philosophical basis for socialism. And it says, the law says, that you should not try to be better than anybody else. That everyone must be equal, meaning i.e. the same. So if you have ambition to be something a little bit better than
They think
you
you're
might,
uppity.
yeah, you're way too uppity, and the community will shun you based on Jante Law. So that's a lot of fun. But I didn't inherit any of that because my Scottish capitalist roots totally just pummeled the Danish out of me.
Let's see. So far, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 in a row, and none of them have words. Let's see. Gob, ew, Flemish, ach, lol, ft, and fe.
Where's the meh?
It's up here.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. I'm glad we got that covered.
Yeah. You mean the Danes?
It probably is why the Danes haven't really accomplished anything. They don't believe in that.
We got to wind down here.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what though? We want. This is us. This show has been really enjoyable because this is how we are, just all day, every day.
Well,
So-
this reminds me of when, Swelker and Muxie Skunk or whatever, Gronk or what was it?
Skunk. No, what was that word? It's a new word. My brain didn't imprint it yet. What did he say?
We're not drunk. I'm not near as think as you drunk I am.
I can't remember the word. What was it?
Skunk?
No, that was your word. You came up with that.
Yeah.
It was something else.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Muxie's going to tell us here. We're going to take off and talk to everybody later. I really want to meet up. I really just meet up in England, but since
that will happen.
Squonk.
Squonk. Thank you. That was
Squonk.
it. That was it.
And I think that can happen.
We'll make it to England, but we'll have to go to Florida first.
Yeah, we have to go to Florida.
Because there are a lot of British people in Florida, and we love them. We see them at Universal all the time.
We're looking at like the third week in November, but not Thanksgiving. Before Thanksgiving.
Well, if that doesn't work though, because we were gonna go in October, but then gig after gig after gig keeps coming up, so we keep having to push everything off. But if it doesn't happen in November, it has to happen by December, because if it doesn't, then I'm fired.
Yeah. We don't want that to happen.
No, I love that job.
And I
It's
want
the
to. I
best
want to work
job
there
in
too.
the world.
Again.
You work 20 minutes on, 40 minutes off every hour. And the first 2 hours that you're there, all you have to do is get dressed. It is the best job in the world.
Say drunk.
You can do that
Yeah,
if
you
you
could.
want. Oh my God.
I sure did. Did not. Yeah, I didn't break any rules there, and that's why they loved us both.
You broke a few. You talked like in your Simpsons voices. when you were escorting the Simpsons
Yeah,
characters.
when I was escorting Simpsons characters, I would do all the voices for the guests, and every once in a while my supervisor would come up and go, you want look around before you do that, would you? And I go, okay. No problem. So, bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us, and congratulations to everybody who's come over to the writer's block. We're going to make this thing huge.
We are.
And we're well on our way to getting some amazing stuff done once again. So from us at eSTEEMed Broccoli, I'm Jimitations, and saying goodbye. Say goodbye, geek.
Goodbye, geek.
Bye, everybody. Boom, 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 boom.